Fucking graffiti. Fucking graffiti, man. By the fact alone that most people would fucking tune out immediately from hearing that means I should have fucking known better. But also, just fucking how weird the fucking San Francisco graffiti scene is here. I was just fucking pretty much pondering how much fucking graffiti has truly ruined my life. Like it fucking graffiti has fucking ruined my life. Which is somewhat ironic in the sense of I always tried to kind of stay away from it while fucking being involved in it. Anyway, then I see that tag, right? And like this guy, as far as I know, or girl, only being fair, but I think I believe it is a dude. Just the letters and his tag is always caught my fucking attention. I think I saw him doing a piece like a fucking legal wall at one point in time or whatever. But anyway, I was getting a fucking slice of pizza at this one spot that I believe, which I think it was this. I say I believe because I think it may be that spot or a different spot. But my friend's got in a fight for me at that spot, and I've always kind of fucking. I've just never known what to say or do about the situation in the sense of talk about fucking ironic San Francisco things. That just wasn't a situation in which a fight needed to break out as far as I was concerned. I didn't understand why there was a fucking, like, it became a brawl. It was like a straight up brawl. And I was mad grateful and appreciative for my friends. But at the same time, it was like this thing where I was like, yo, like, I didn't mean to cause that. And very truly, I would have taken my responsibility on it, and I did as well. But it's also like, it was just this thing of like, yo, what the fuck? Didn't expect that. And that's kind of how it's been with fucking graffiti in fucking San Francisco with me. Because I never got that involved with it more than anything, because it always seems so fucking strange to me, yo. Like, I very much expected people to call me out quick in San Francisco for fucking even just mentioning graffiti. Because for me, graffiti's always been this thing, like, if you don't, I don't fucking care about you, really. It is what it is. Like, it's not that deep for me because it is that deep, and that's just how it is, right? So, like, for me to go out on Instagram and be talking about graffiti and all this other shit should have been like, what? You know what I mean? Like, to me, I just expected different reactions. And so there's that mind fucked on it, because it really did fucking end up ruining my shit, yo, where it's like, I don't even know how to fucking put it. You know what I mean? It's like, because there was no real, like, it's like for me, all right, so this is the thing about graph, right? So for me, I started graph in New York, right? And like, I didn't get mad deep into it, but what I did fucking get enough deep into it that I understood it to be like this little subculture of the subculture of the subculture, in the sense of, like, in New York, even though I was mad young or whatever, like it just, the reference is just because it should be easier for fucking people to understand. Like, it's even like the Fat Joe shit, yo, you know what I mean? Like, there was still like this underground kind of thing where I'm sure even up in SF it happens. I was, at some point in time, I was kind of part of it as well too, but not necessarily in the graph scene. But when you get those kind of like underwaves of societies, you know what I mean? And so because of that, I expected a different reaction, right? So it's like, yo, in New York, it seemed as if I had approached it the way I had approached it, I would have gotten a response quicker. One way or the other, no matter how it is, it would have gotten some kind of reaction, where this has been some fucking weird shit that's happened in SF, right? And then in Kansas City, it is what it is. Like, I was one of the very few, as far as I know, really the only one for a while. But one, at the very least, I had one of very, very few. Like, we're talking less than 10. I know I met 3 other writers, and I think there was probably maybe 4 or 5 more others, you know what I'm saying? But that was the whole point too. It's like, we all kind of ended up meeting each other, and like, we knew how to get a hold of each other and shit like that. So that's why I always thought it was fucking weird in SF, where like people were acting as if like it was all fucking internet shit, you know what I mean? As if like there wasn't any writer in San Francisco that knew how to get a hold of me, or there wasn't any, you know what I mean? It was like this weird fucking thing, yo. And so, yeah, so I don't know. I was just thinking about that whole fucking shit. Like, yo, like, I was like, yo, fucking graffiti's been ruining my fucking life. But then also, like, this weird fucking thing that just fucking happened. Like, I saw that fucking tag, and, like, all of a sudden, like, yeah, I would say the love for graffiti came back. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, I don't know this kid, this person, whatever. It's not really that deep, you know, other than just the fact that I do like the way the letters are put together and shit like that. But yeah, I just think it's fucking ironic, yo, because it's this weird fucking thing about. I think it's funny because I always I did want to avoid this. I did want to avoid this because that was one of the things too. Is I ended up, you know, because I ended up started in it younger. I was kind of exposed to people like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 who were like, yo, like literally was ruining their lives. You know what I mean? Like, because at that point, you know what I mean? Like, it's just different. Like, you know what I mean? The consequences is different. A lot of things is different. You know what I mean? And so I did want to avoid that. I did want to be like, yo, like, that's why I did a lot of my shit, you know, when I was younger. And then, you know, then I kind of chilled out, whatever, because I was like, for me, like I said, my thought process on it was just fucking longevity, you know, whatever. But anyway, fucking wrap it all up is just, it's kind of interesting how it's still I feel like it's like drugs and shit too. It's like one of these things, like, you know, maybe hopefully somebody younger listens to this and kind of maybe can kind of gain something from it, because straight up for real, yo, like, you know what I mean? It's similar to drugs up to a certain sense, where it's like I thought there's no way, you know what I mean? Like, how could this ruin my life? How could graffiti really ruin, you know what I mean? Like, ruin my life like that? And yet somehow or another, it did. But then, you know, this is what was somewhat sad about it, you know what I mean? Because this would happen at any point, you know what I mean? Realistically, it's I used to think about this with alcohol too, because of the prevalence of it, you know what I mean? But it's like, yeah, so it's like I see it, and then it's like, you know, you gotta kind of face the relationship with it, and that's what happened to me just now, where it's like I saw it and I had to kind of face my relationship with it, and I realized I still fucking love you, I guess, you know what I mean? And it's like, and then in the combination with the pizza shop as well, with the fucking SF incident, because, like, you know, that incident, like I said, is just, that always seemed very SF to me, in the sense of like, yo, those weren't those weren't fighting words. Realistically, there were fighting words actually that happened earlier in that evening that my friends didn't necessarily back me up on. But then they were like, yo, all right, Charlie said some shit, let's go fight. And I was like, oh, what the fuck? Like, why you fighting these niggas off of that? Yo, you know what I mean? Like, so, yeah, so the combination of all those events made me fucking feel as if I want to get that shit out there, because maybe somebody will listen and benefit from kind of understanding these weird passions and loves of life, I guess, or whatever. And you know, some of them are good, some of them are bad, and the ones that are bad, you know, they really are. You know what I mean? Because the RIY is not as big of an issue, but this graph thing, I guess you could say playing around with love, because I played around with it. I wasn't as pure with it as I am with me. Like, with me, I don't need to talk about graph. Like, you know how ridiculous I mean, like, I will say it now, you know what I mean? Because now it's out in the open. You know how ridiculous it is for me to fucking talk about graph? Like, I've been doing graffiti literally my entire fucking life. And I started in the Bronx. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, I by no means am I the most up. By no means. None of that shit. I'm not claiming anything other than what it is, which is, that's not necessarily something that I need to fucking go around talking about. Like, if you don't know that about me, that's actually more of your issue than mine. You know what I mean? Like, because it's not something I hide, but it's also, you know what I mean? It isn't normal for me to be, to have put it in the forefront, or even just in the level that I have over these last few years, not even few years, quite a few, you know, now a while. It just isn't, and I was doing it for a reason, and it's not. It has somewhat worked out well, so it hasn't been all bad. But also, it obviously has contributed to a lot of confusion and misunderstandings, and definitely for me losing a certain amount of love and passion for it. But Obviously not fully. The reason I hesitate with that is, because I don't wanna, you know what I mean? Like I don't wanna tempt anything, I guess. And actually, know what fully could be fucking be. But I guess, whatever. Anyway, yeah, life lessons, I guess.